It's a great time here so far. We've had some great segments, but I'm particularly excited for this one because we have the cast and crew of the upcoming USA show Colony joining us here. We have the one and only Josh Holloway, this guy right here, the legend. Your hair is just locks of beauty, man. I just want to compliment you on that. We have Carlton Cuse as well, and Ryan. Oh my God, I'm drawing McConnell. I have it written in tiny text, and that's my fault. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. It's
Pleasure.
fantastic. Hi, we were just talking about Comic-Con, and you guys haven't had much of a chance to walk around yet and stuff. Do you guys typically get opportunities to it, like San Diego and all the other shows, or it's kind of just more of a no? You're kind of just locked away in a room.
Yes, I've done 4 or 5 or 6 Comic-Cons. I don't know, but I haven't had a chance to walk around yet. I am going to get.
You're going to make it happen?
A Princess Leia outfit and walk around here.
I know a couple people.
Hold you to that? That's
yes.
a really
I know.
costume. I like that one.
It's by the way, it's like the 3rd time he's mentioned it today.
Really?
So I
Well, it's the
actually
only
think
one I own.
he does. I think
So
he's been looking for an excuse to
It's a
dress
dream
up like
then.
Princess Leia.
We
It's
really
those
need to question
squash blossom hair.
Squash blossom?
It's fantastic.
I've never heard it described that way. I really like it. Squash blossom. I heard cinnamon bun, but never squash blossom.
Yeah, I've never heard that one either. But you know what? We'll get to cinnamon buns in a few. Very exciting stuff. We have a lot to talk about here, but before we do that, let's actually go ahead and toss it over to a quick trailer showing off Colony. It's pretty exciting stuff. And when we come back, we'll talk with Carlton, Ryan, as well as Josh about the show and all that good stuff. So take it away.
It's going to be another beautiful day today in Los Angeles with a high of 70.
Good morning. Good morning. You stink? Or is it you? You stink?
What are you gonna do when this is all over?
I'll leave this garage, you idiots.
Like never come back. This is the worst part of it, you know? Husbands separated from wives, parents from children.
It's bad enough he's gone. But to see you every day hating me for it, he's my son too. Going to find my son. You want my help? We want our son back.
Good things come to the loyal.
All right, that was a look at Colony. I'm so excited to check this out. Of course, we got to make the obvious connection, Josh. You and Carlton having worked together on Lost.
Yes.
How's that experience been for you guys coming into Colony, being able to work together again, and really just the vibe of the show? How do you feel like that's helped it?
It's absolutely miserable. I don't know anything again.
All right, guys,
Lost.
interview's
I
over.
Can't
No,
no. I'm kidding. I love it. You're kidding me? This guy is so talented, and we've been friends ever since we met on Lost, and have been talking and keeping in touch, trying to find something to possibly work on together again. So when he called me up for this, actually I'd spoken with him and Ryan the year before. They did a pilot called The Sixth Gun, which was fantastic. Just wasn't the right time in my life for that, but I've been watching this team.
So this was inevitable.
I think so. I think that's the way life works, once
I would agree.
you kind of can manifest things. So it was wonderful. And again, it's so wonderful as an actor to work with writers who are so confident and so agile that they can adjust to the individuals who are being cast and make it richer and not afraid of change.
That's cool.
Fantastic.
That's some cool stuff. Carlton, what about you?
I mean, Josh and I had a working relationship, and we were friends, and we had a level of trust. And I think going into a TV show, that's the first thing you have to develop. You have to develop this rapport, and between show writer, creators, and actors. You have to kind of get to a place where you trust each other. They have to kind of trust us to do our job, and we have to trust them to do their job. And we had that built in, and I think that was a great starting place. And honestly, we set the bar very high. We wrote this show, and Ryan and I really had Josh in mind right from the get-go, and so we would have been really screwed had Josh not wanted to do it.
Awkward
And we
moment is
wouldn't,
awkward.
we wouldn't be sitting here probably right now.
Well, I had David Hasselhoff in mind.
And you can never go wrong with the Hoff. So
You can't.
You really can't.
Yeah.
Thank God he was busy singing in Germany at some club. No.
So no, I mean it was, and Josh and I have been talking since Lost about trying to find something, but it's so hard, particularly in television, because if you commit to a show, it can mean years of your life, and so finding a window when you can actually get together and collaborate on something is often really hard, and it just it was really fantastic fortune that Josh was looking just at the time we had our script ready, and it came together.
I mean, given you guys' track record, right? I would imagine that this is something that is going to be for the long haul, right? There seems to be a lot of layers to the story, which we'll get to in a little bit. And actually, Ryan, that's probably where you should come in here because, when I saw this and it was presented to me, they were like, hey, you're going to do this thing. And I was like, all right, let me do my research. And I'm looking at it, and it grabbed me right away. And that grabbed me partly because I really enjoy, like, one of my favorite shows is like Battlestar Galactica, and kind of have that vibe of like you don't know what's out there, and even Lost as well, right? Like you don't know what's going on, you don't know the full story, and it's very captivating. Coming into it for you, and when you and Carlton were writing this and working on this together, what was, I guess, your goal? What's the kind of story that you're trying to tell here, and to grip people like me, all across the world?
Well, I've always gravitated towards. I love huge canvases, but small stories told on a huge canvas. And this idea of this world that's been Los Angeles has been occupied, 300-foot walls surrounding the city, drones crisscrossing the skies, but then telling it through the point of view of this one family that's at the center of all of it, and introducing these characters and then being able to follow them and understand that each of them has dilemmas that have been created by this world. That just really fascinated me. I was a student of science fiction and fantasy growing up, and comic books and all that, and really all that stuff influenced me as a writer. But the drama comes first, and being able. For me, this is much less a science fiction story than it is a human drama and an espionage thriller. There's a real element, a thriller element to the show. Living under occupation, not knowing who's lurking around the corner, who you trust and who you choose to let trust you is so important in this world that it creates this palpable sense of paranoia that I think exists over the whole show. And it's Carlton always talks about loving cross-genre storytelling, and I really think this is a new form of that. It's a science fiction espionage thriller, and I'm so excited to be working on it, and the world promises drama for years to come.
That's pretty cool stuff.
That's one of the things that originally attracted me to Colony is, of course, we're gamers, we're here at Comic-Con, nerds through and through, we are so attracted to sci-fi. But as soon as I saw the trailer and I see these rich human stories, and the sci-fi is almost a peripheral, it's the canvas upon which it's painted.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that story? What plot are we going to see? What's been revealed so far?
Sure. So, what's kind of known is, and we want people to experience, the show as kind of
no spoilers.
As
maybe some
as
spoilers.
Purely as possible, but
shoot for the moon.
The idea is basically that the command and control structure of Los Angeles was taken out as a result of this invasion that happened. So anybody that had any kind of power or skill, like military law enforcement, before was culled out of the herd, they're missing. We don't really know what's happened to them. So through the course of events in the pilot, as you will see, Josh's character is found out to have this special set of skills, and because it's very rare in this world, he's put into a position where he has to choose, like, look, either you're going to go to the gulag or you're going to come work for the occupation and help us hunt down this nascent resistance that's formed in the city because you have that special set of skills. So he's put in this place where it's like, the Nazis have knocked on the door and basically said, you have to come work for us if you want your family to live. And it's a terrible position to be put in. But it was commonplace in these occupation stories and military police stories, military state stories. And we just thought it was such a fascinating place to start character off in, and this great moral dilemma, and that's where the story really gets going.
Yeah, speaking of, I mean, I want to give a shout out to Peter Jacobson as well for his role as Proxy Snyder. I mean, absolutely loved, every scene he was in. You definitely felt it in that trailer. More specifically, you really felt his presence, and it was fantastic. And I guess for you, Josh, let's actually talk about that because how was that relationship with you and Peter? But more importantly, with your character and his character, Proxy Snyder. How has that relationship kind of been for you on screen, and anything you could take away from that as well?
It's one of my favorite relationships on the show. I love doing scenes with Peter because he's so talented and he's got so many layers and colors that he brings, and he's one of my favorite characters, and our relationship is amazing because he's the soft hand of the leader, and he's something I understand from working with the FBI. I was an FBI. I'm used to bureaucracy. I'm used to dealing with these kind of people, and so I think the beauty that Peter brings is a different villain, a villain that you can understand him, and it's not he's not a bad guy. He's in a bad situation. Yeah. So I love that, walking that line with him. And our relationship develops in different ways throughout the season, but I really love the way it develops.
And I guess one more for you as well. I mean, you're working with the amazingly talented Sarah Wayne Collies, who is awesome. She was on Walking Dead, great there. Prison Break as well. I guess she plays your wife on the show, and there's a definite there's a tension between you guys because of what you have to do to protect your family. And I think one of the lines in particular was, what would you do?
Yes.
And this is, what would you have me do similarly, How's that been for you, is working with her and being able to kind of portray that on screen?
It's been fantastic. I love Sarah. I've loved her work for years before we actually did a movie together a decade ago. So we had known each other.
Okay.
And I knew her husband, which is also named Josh. Interesting enough, and we had no kids, and we were both on big shows, and that was a decade ago. Now we come back, we both have 2 children each.
Parallels.
Still married, same to the same people, so we understood the intricacies of long-term relationship and the stakes of having children.
Yeah.
And that's what really we both went, boom, we locked in on that. We understand it. We're on the same page.
Cool.
Exciting stuff.
It's exciting.
I'm pumped to watch it. I think it's going to be fantastic. Guys, I want to thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, give it up. Give it up for these awesome people. We have Josh Holloway, Colin Hughes, as well as Ryan Connolly. Thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute blast. And did I get it? Did I get the name wrong again?
Yeah. I hope
come on, man. Condal. Ryan Condal. Guys, give it up specifically for Ryan Condal.
Yeah.
Specifically for him, because I botched that so many times because my chicken scratch handwriting. In any case, guys, check out Colony on USA. It is awesome. I can't wait. When is it?
January 14th.
January 14th. Are you guys doing anything special here at the con as well?
We are screening at 3:30. We are screening Colony, the pilot. If you want to roll over to
3:30.
Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein Ballroom, you can see it. You can be among the very first people to see it, and then we're going to have a fun panel afterwards. But we're screening the whole show, so come on by.
Awesome
tweet
stuff.
Me how it is, because I can't go. So
yeah,
tweet
we're
me
limited here,
how
so
it is.
tweet us how the show is.
Okay.
I can't wait to check it out, guys.
Right on.